Hood postman, city, hood, click. Let's go.
Be very careful who you talk to, because you'll never know who the informant is, who the cooperating witness may be, and you never know, somebody who was a friend today may have been flipped the night before and become your enemy tomorrow.
About humanity, putting truth in these lines, while they busy feeding lies. When you got that tunnel vision, gotta open up your eyes. Wake up and go to sleep. Man, I'm praying all times. And to my guys, ain't no other side. This for my brothers, I'ma pray we all shine. Lock the door. Go ahead, lock the door. Lock the door. Go ahead, lock the door. Yeah, you already know.
Depending on the lessons, some people eat, some people learn. But the game is gonna send you big. Lock the door.
Lock the door. Shout out to the Mailroom Nation and the Mailroom Goons. I am Professor Melly Mail, the Hood Postman. Be sure to click that notification bell, like, subscribe, and share. Drop a comment down below so when the dope content hit, it'll feel like it's the first and the 15th. Welcome to the Mailroom. When you come in, take a look at your mind, examine what's in your heart. Go anywhere in the world to get a couple of lies, but you come right here to get the truth. Before they had handguns, they had hand guys. Man up. Get on the bus and let me take you to school. Shout out, man. Shout out to everybody in chat. Shout out to Marlena Williams for being back. Shout out to Mike Marks, RDL. Let me see who's all in the chat. Oh, man. Purple Rain, what's good? What's good, people? I said RDL, man. And shit, Antonio. What's good, JRL? What's happening? What's going on, pen folks, cousins, and relatives? There you go, kin folks, cousins, and relatives. That includes everybody in the family. Post bail with Professor Melly Mail and get yourself out of mental jail. That's good, guys. We come in, man. Today we got to get into this subject matter, and that's the thing. I think that at this point that unarmed truth and unconditional love will have the final say so. Because if it don't, we are doomed as a people in the culture. So we gotta get out of this jaw banging. Shout out to Monique Hill for bringing that up. Jaw banging on the internet. All the jaw banging that goes on the internet, it is fruitless. It bears no fruit, and it's only doing harm, and it's giving other folks a real good look at, why I would say that the most self-hating people are in the Los Angeles area and the surrounding cities. And it's for various reasons. But we'll get into that another day. But today, the worst person of war goes out to Tanea for being the worst mother. It's, man, where do I even begin with this? Because today we want to fill our mind with vision, ideas, goals, and accomplishments. Because if we don't, the enemy will fill with lack, scarcity, fear, and also debauchery and gossip. That is just the facts. That is no cap. That is just the facts on it. But today we're going to get into the Hoovers, Tanea versus the Hoovers, and we're going to get into this informant thing, deception, lies, and true or false. One of the things I want to point out to guys, and I don't know if you guys recognize that or was you even aware, During the Diddy trial, Tanea made allegations and alleged that she was in a couple of parties and this and that happened or whatever over there. So remember about during the Diddy trial, all the time during the Diddy trial, where was Tanea? She was in New York. Why did she go to New York? Because she was looking to testify and capitalize on the circumstance and situation with Diddy. Diddy is a mogul and associated with millions of dollars, and somehow, if you can go on and be a witness and show that you were victimized and you had standing, therefore you're out there obligated to his insurance or whatever is obligated to pay you some money based on if you could prove that you was actually a victim of the circumstances that was going on during the Diddy parties. The whole time she was there, I mean, she was out there popping him, and then all of a sudden, she winds up back in LA. She goes on the soft white underbelly with her daughter, who is obviously misguided, misdirected. Think less than of herself, have low self-esteem. There's something called the Dunning-Kruger effect. The Dunning-Kruger effect. It is a cognitive bias in which people with low ability and the task at task, they have low ability at task, and they overestimate their actual ability to relate to cognitive bias or illusion. And what happens is that they have this superiority where they believe in their mind that they're actually doing something great. And they actually believe that they have acquired the tools that is necessary to be part of what we now call the internet. You got a countless of people that has maybe a 10-word vocabulary that is on the internet that's talking. And they talk in terms of, and I'm not trying to shame anybody, but I'm just telling you it's observable reality on my part. Hood, dead homies, Crip gang, on the big, on the Bompton, and you guys know the words. I don't have to keep saying them. And they say it repeatedly, like every 2 words spoken, then that one of those words come out. And this is the redundantness and it's profound ignorance, but yet somehow it has to become somewhat entertaining. But let's get back to Tanea. I don't want to get too far off that and go too far off the course for what I'm trying to convey to you guys. I'm gonna get into the verses, the Tanea versus the Hoovers. Now I don't know exactly who snitched on them, but here's what I do know. When Tanea riding up back in LA, she's already probably operating with some agent or case somebody handler, or is what they say out there. I don't know what the particular names is, I'm assuming. But if you look down in my notes and description, you'll see what informants can possibly make, and it becomes a job to people once they get in, tap into that area. So the fans don't necessarily go around looking for things. They rely on tips, informants, and corruption to kind of just stand out, and then somehow they take a look at it and then find there and tap into it. But there's a many possible prostitution rings across this country, whether you're in Chicago, Milwaukee, New York, Detroit, Oklahoma, Texas. There are many. But why Figueroa? You got to ask yourself that. Now, I know that the guys that was out there, I mean, come on, man, it's a little over the top. You're going around labeling people, putting labels on people, and doing all this kind of stuff. You got to be somewhat insane, because at some point that stuff is going to come back and bite you in the butt, big time. You out there putting your stamp on them and label them as your property. So here's the penalties. I want you guys to understand. Pimping and pandering actually is a state case. It carry about 3 to 6. And then we got what is called an 18 U.S. Code 1591, what is a law criminalizing trafficking for force fraud or coercion, or as well as trafficking of a minor. Commercial sex carries a penalty of 15 to life. 15 to life. This is why the federal government picks up these type of cases, because the harsher penalty, and they can go in and charge special categories or whatever. And now I'm sure if you run around putting your stamp, your label on these different people, and they can prove that that's your label, your stamp, then that I don't know how they would even categorize that legally, and what would they put it under. But I know that that's going to make the penalties even harsher. It's going to make the penalties. And then there's U.S. Code 18, what is that? Interstate 22, 24, something like that. Interstate commerce, coercion, enticing, and persuading prostitution for breaking the commerce, going over state lines. Like, say, for instance, like some guys like running down to Vegas or whatever, you crossed over to another state. That constitutes the interstate commerce. And anyone engaged in that prostitution can receive up to 20 years. So I'm saying to say this, when you engage in these sort of crimes, or you possibly thinking about entering this arena, know this, that we're living in modernity, and modernity is modern times, and the technologies has surpassed the 80 ideologies, the 90 ideologies, 2000, all the way up to where we are now in 2020. And if you don't recognize that, then you're going to become caught up in the snare of law enforcement. Now, what happens, like people like Tanea, and this is a speculation on my part, in my opinion, that based on she already had connection with the feds, and she's already been, shout out to Monique, thank you for that job banking. I use that too, job banking. She actually had connection with them. So it'd have been easy for her to make that transfer, make that deposit, and make that withdrawal based on whatever tip or information she provided to the federal government. And I'm saying this is anecdotal on Mike's part. It don't necessarily, I'm just, because I'm on the outside looking at it, but there's too many different coincidences in it. And then the fact that, they was listing her daughter as a young minor that was being, sex trafficking in. But Tanea, you're the worst mother. What was your responsibility? Where were you when this little girl needed, and Snoopy Badass, shout out to him, was pleading for you to take care of your children, protect them. But yet you exploited her. You went on soft white underbelly, and you set up just there like you was glorification. Like I say, this is not a glorification, but you went up there and glorified it. Memorized the whole circumstance. And therefore, you deserve to be the worst mother. You deserve to win the worst mother of the year award. You're terrible. You're a horrible person. And now, you might have even found a way to liquidate this whole circumstance based on you have this necessity because you don't work. I don't see you running no businesses. I don't see you what you do. I don't, other side than selling cat. And for what I understand, that's blowed out the water. The cat, it don't even get watery no more. It ain't even catfish no more. It's like kitty litter now. So yeah, it's very, 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 very. Yeah. Let's see. What did he say? Yeah. Yeah, she is very, very disgusting. And we should all be disgusted with her behavior. And now she's doing, I don't know who this Lady Duck is, and then how, all the Hoovers are right there on Figueroa. It's easy to lump them up in this stuff, you know what I mean? Because again, modernity, they got flock cameras, CTV, LBT cameras. They got every type, all types of surveillance and cameras like everywhere, covering everything and picking up everything, even the Teslas. Don't do nothing around no Tesla because the Teslas are constantly recorded and taking in information. Always. That's what they're there. They're information gathering. All Teslas. I don't care which one you get. It don't matter. You operate in the Tesla, yeah, you definitely gonna have big problems with that if you're out there in the streets doing something illegal. So be careful. Don't think because you riding around in Tesla and you looking fly, you got the Lamborghini doors or whatever, and like that's something super major or something. Yeah, but understand that when you get one of those things, it record and listen to everything. So and there's no way you can stop it from doing what it's doing. It's automatic design and built into the car. So and they're making more cars like that. A lot of these cars have the capability of listening to you when you even with the OnStar and whatever type of systems you have in your car when you press the button and the little lady come on, they all can hear. And I don't know necessarily if they can actually record, but they can definitely hear. So when you're discussing things and that is a nefarious nature, be careful. That's all I'm telling you. Just be careful. So yeah, so the feds run down on Hoover and collect 11 individuals. Then the Lady Duck and the guy that was a rapper, and they alleged that they was using rap videos and different things and putting these young women under pressure and having them. But most of these people come from broken homes, come from single parent homes, and there's a number of reasons why they wind up there and they have low self-esteem. And that's why I say it's important, how important it is to read and write versus guys that are there fighting and shooting. And then you see these people that put numerous of tattoos in their face and they're doing all this stuff. And they don't know that the government is repositioning itself and they move into global politics, geopolitics. So once that happens, they're gonna re reposition the whole country, and it definitely is taking place right now, but it probably be initiated. That's why the running reasons why you see Trump is in there doing what he's doing, and actually Trump is being manipulated and used. And that way he'll be a fall guy, and he don't even realize that because Trump is not educated. Trump is really not educated. He really didn't do well in college. Most of the people that come to the presidency, they either went to Princeton, Yale, Harvard, Cornell, or Brown, or something, or Colgate, or something of a prestigious higher learning university. These people are very, very suave, smooth, and highly intelligent. And that is not Trump. But anyway, that's a whole nother dialogue right there as well. So when you see these things happen, they got individuals that are actually out there that's looking to profit. It happened in my situation when I went to the feds, and individuals were on the payroll, and then the guy, and I was surprised to see certain people with the guy that actually got me, and I can't trust none of it. I don't like even at this time. I don't like showing up nowhere, being in anybody's. There's some people I mess with, trust me on that, but there's a whole lot of people I'm like, when they invite me to stuff or anything, shout out to my guy, O'Neal Brown, Sparks, The bull from Avalon, big cartoon. Shout out to them, man. And Avalon Blue, and then various other people from everywhere else. People that I have became and build relations with and understanding, and just sit down and dissect this thing we call Kiwi and Damu, right? And there's a lot of people over on that side, like Swanee Fly, Ball Gang, Loco Mike, you know, Skip Townsend is a good person. There's a lot of people over there. But then, what gets me about all that is that even when you got people like that, there's still a hope, there's still a cancer within all these communities. I don't care which one it is. Name it, I'll tell you there's cancer in it. And if we don't come together as a collective, we won't be able to remove it. So when people like Tanea, who's the worst mother of the year, pimp her daughter out like that, or allow her daughter to get in the game, there was trust me, there's resources out there that's preventative and help take care of that circumstance, or be there and help you get to the right resources to where you can change her mind. This is a young, fertile mind. She's impressionable. If she's 13, that means she's impressionable. She's looking for somebody to give her some impressions, or that where she can follow it, But why couldn't it have been somebody, someone that was an engineer, a doctor, a nurse, or even an actor or a singer? I don't know, somebody more impressionable than just being a streetwalker, because these people have low perspective takings. If you're a streetwalker, and even if you're a streetwalker and you work the strip clubs, even the strip club girls are now going to the streets because the streets are doing bad. When the streets start doing bad, the strip clubs do bad. So therefore they have to trying to extend the revenue, or extend their ways of how they get money. So they'll add the blade to it, or they'll add, maybe they got some clientele where they can see them privately. These are sex workers. So the younger they are, there's some people out here that goes out of this country, that goes to Thailand, goes to the Philippines, where they can partake in 14-year-olds, 13-year-olds, and it's legal unless the United States get wind of that's what they're doing, and then they waiting for them to check back in through customs, and they arrest them for participating in such, being pedophiles in other countries. So the United States is watching that closely as well. So it's just a big old crazy market for it, and it just breaks my heart. It really do, because when you see, and then even all the people that's from Hoover, the young guys that have all the tattoos on their face and doing what they're doing, they don't fully understand that even as a crip, how do you define that? There's no real definition. There's made up definitions to what that, but when you call yourself a criminal, a Hoover criminal, then it's not hard to define that, or put the proper definitions to that, to actually criminalize you for saying such a thing, or you giving credit to calling yourself that, but just like, there's no real, it's not tangible for say Crips. We know Crips do heinous acts, and Pirates do heinous acts, and those words are shock words within court settings. We all know that. That's why they, when they're coming in there, their first thing they say, well, he's a gang member. And then so now you got murder, mayhem, kidnap, robbery, burglary, rape, all the different things that comes along with that, they're going to associate with. So you got doctors, lawyers, nurses, engineers, and architects, and people of that walk of life coming in, sitting on these juries. They're going to find you guilty because they know absolutely nothing. They just know it's foul. So there's no way you can win in that circumstance situation. But understand this: the federal government makes a lot of mistakes when it comes to prosecution and U.S. attorney. And how these feds they will get creative on their writing. They will embellish. They will put things in there and stretch it because they want to get their what is called forum shopping. Shopping for a bigger forum, like they're doing with Big U, Lil Durk, and some of the other people that's right in custody now within the federal government, BOP, custody of BOP, waiting to go into federal court. And they do that, and they're charged in duplicity. And then it's all like being caught in the jaw of an alligator or a shark. You know, they want you to bow down and submit to something that is going to at least give you 10 or better. 10 or better. That is their goal. 10 and better. And preferably they want to give you 20. If you don't recognize exactly what's being played and what's going down, because now when you go to trial, so that's when you get to see exactly what's going on. The only way you can see who's telling on you or who's actually put you in the circumstance that you find yourself in, or who gave up information. 9 chances out of 10 is when you go to trial. Brady and Jinx and Lemonite motions are filed in your behalf, and then therefore the government have to turn over all, and they have to turn over their witness list and all these sort of things. But a lot of people don't make it that far. So trust me, there's a lot of people, even amongst you guys, that are on federal informants and on in federal informant lists, and they actually work as a employee. And I'm not 100% sure. I'm just watching how this thing with Tanea paid out when she jumped up there and went where she went and started talking about Diddy, and then next thing you know, she was in New York in an undisclosed place, waiting to be. I don't know if they actually used her testimony or she went and talked to the grand jury. I don't know that part, but trust me, those were the reasons why she was there. Because obviously she's back in LA now. Now being back in LA, now that you have a connection to the feds. Now, what else can you give us, Tanea? Lead us somewhere else. Give us something, you know. So, because again, they don't go out looking for it. They rely on tips, information, social media. People that get on the social media and talk that's in the streets, breaking crimes, committing crimes, and being on social media. You got people that get on social media. I just saw a picture of Seti Nash. I don't know why he put 10 or 15 guns on a picture. I don't. Let me tell you something, guys. I don't care how many guns you show, whoever's showing your guns or whatever you're showing your knives. Violence is used best by those who use it first, skillfully, and the best. It doesn't belong to anybody. You can show 1,000 guns, but if you're not the first to pull it and use it, then those 1,000 guns are useless to you. Very useless. So I don't get that. I lived in a time when I grew up that we didn't dictate or show our hand or reveal what we were thinking. During my time, the girls weren't even allowed to even be in the gang like that. We didn't let them know our business. Now you got women that's actually like sitting with the top guys in the neighborhood, discussing the politics of it. That is insanity to me. Because here's the thing, if they got kids, that's a pressure. Then they're emotional. That's another pressure. Then the fact that they don't see things in a logical and a reasonable way. They are very reactionary. Very reactionary. So therefore, you'll react on some stuff that a female said, and it don't even be true. So it's a lot going on. I mean, I'm really, when I look at the internet per se and all together in its totality, I'm pretty much disgusted by it. And and I don't know if I can even continue to jump on here every day and have, because if I don't have nothing pertinent to say or something usable or exchangeable or something you can use to say, okay, as a measure, I'm giving you something to measure. I'm giving you more than likely, I'm within the framework of science, biology, chemistry, mathematics, and physics. I'm within that framework because I know those things are solution building and problem solving, and they give you answers. Anything outside of that is an illusion, uh, because there's identity, non-contradiction, and no middle, no middle. Just not. It's nothing in the middle. Uh, and the non-contradiction is either true or false. Then the identity is the self, and then there's nothing in the middle. But somehow we keep excluded middle. We keep trying to include the middle, but the middle is excluded because it don't exist. But that's just man making up stuff to give you, and then that's how the middle gets started. But excluded middle, identity, and non-contradiction. Look it up. Don't take my word for it. Just look it up. And then you can also look up the Dunning-Kruger effect in the cognitive, where it's talk about the cognitive bias in which people with low ability at tasks overstate their ability in relating to the cognitive bias of illusion and superiority, and comes from the inability to prioritize or recognize that they have a lack in ability. So it's a lot of people like that, a lot of people, and it's and it's because again, ignorance can be educated, crazy can be medicated, and stupidity. There's no cure for stupid. Absolutely no cure. So when you see these people that's on the internet with 1,000 tattoos on their face, and they just have all this stuff and all this energy, that is social dysfunction. That is a sign of a person that is walking around that is actually having a outright breakdown in society. They're coming apart. They're self-medicating on a syrup, Vicodins, Percocets, and any other pill they can get their hands on, and that's not even counting the weed and the alcohol that they're consuming. But yeah, but it's a sign of functional retardation. You don't have to take my word for it. I'm just giving you my take on it, my anecdotal experience to it, and if they're not, every day people waking up drinking owing this 800 and 1,800 tequila and all this other stuff, get you some of this. It's better. It's better for you to do the body great. Let me see, is anybody, I gotta get my other device going too. It's discussing. Any comments? Let's see. I forgot to put up Rodney Scott, what's going on, man? Smart vehicles. Yeah, you're right, man. Those smart vehicles will get you, man. They'll take you down. Counsel anybody who's target women and kids. Yeah, definitely. Counsel anybody. I don't care who they is. Any and everybody. Because men are the maintainers and protectors of women and children. That is your position. You're providers. What about George W. Bush, man? He's part of the skull and bones. He took the oath. He died in a casket, naked, with a ribbon tied around his genitals in front of 12 men, and had to utter his most severe sexual fantasies and secrets. That's what these people do. They belong to secret societies, man. And I'm not pulling just like yeah, you call it helper. I get it, Mike. I get it, bro. I get it. I definitely get it. I definitely get it. What's been on, Rodney? Frank Nitty, what's happening? Facts. Your face is your temple. Absolutely, man. But no matter how you try to hide, it shows on your face. You know how you see people, man, they had this particular look on their face. And then they got all these different graphics and design. These tattoos are very ugly. To me, they're just ugly. As soon as I see it, man, I don't even introduce myself to nobody like that. To be honest with you. Now, if somebody bring them around, I'm cordial, I'm nice, of course, but if I can avoid even engaging and indulging in conversation, like I got a homeboy, I love him to death. Cross. He came home from the PM, man. Y'all go back down and some of my videos, y'all see him, man. He tattooed up, man. And he my age. Cross is 67. I'm 66. Face full of tattoos. I can't get rid of him. He my homie, but man, I wish he wouldn't have done that. I just wish he wouldn't have done that. It's his right, it's his face, of course. But how does that look? What is that? What are you saying? Does anybody, because I look at this when I get up in the morning, right? I take a look in the mirror, brush my teeth, and do everything, and clean my face and everything. I look in the mirror and I put my clothes on. What am I saying to the world? Because you can put some certain stuff on there, even with females, they can put certain things on. And if they don't ask themselves, what am I saying to the world? What statement am I making to the world by putting this on? If you don't question yourself in that regard, then you're losing something. You're losing something. You got people now in Atlanta starting this trend with men wearing skirts. Don't bring that over here. Don't bring that over here, bro. Leave that out there. If that's what they're doing out there, leave that over there, man. Again, shout out to Tanea for being the worst mother of the year. You win the award, Tanea. You're the worst mother of the year. And you getting out here and going on no jumper and crashing out and doing all that stuff is not making it no better because, again, you got a low perspective thinking. You have low ability at task. You're overstating your cognitive bias because your cognitive bias has got you in this illusion to where you think your superiority is like overriding everything, and it comes from the inability to recognize your lack of ability. Go to coding school, start at CNA, become an LVN, go to nurse. I see countless of young sisters take those steps to get to where they're at. And then they leave Charlie Brown be at the house all day long doing this. All day long. She gets certified. Her payment go up from that, whatever, how much they get from welfare. And then it goes up to maybe 60, 70, 80, 90 grand a year. She gonna get rid of you because you out there waiting on what they call it, GR or something, some food stamps and a couple $100. But you're doing this all day. You don't have no ambition, no motivation. You don't have no goals, no accomplishments, no ideas. The enemy don't fill your mind with debauchery, fear, lack and scarcity and gossip. That's what it's done. You can go sit up on Clubhouse with the rest of them and be on there just, you king of the world. Oh, you famous nothing people. Don't have absolutely nothing. Nothing going on. Those who pay you can also starve. That's just the fact of the matter is. See any more comments? I think we got to get back to our lives, Marlena. I see everybody, man. Thank God we got Marlena back. You know, she is going through something, and you know, and everything is beginning to get better for her and her daughter and her niece. You know, you guys continue to keep Marlena, her daughter, and her niece in your prayers. We appreciate you, Marlena. Yeah, she definitely failed as a mother. She failed. Off with your head. Ariel with her. Off with your head. But what do we do? You know what I mean? And we're going, yeah, they're going to skinny skirts. Yeah, that's a thing down there, man. That's crazy how they do that, man. And you know, it just, man. And then when you got the hip hop community associated with the gang community, you be like, wow. And they follow each other's trends. That's what it is. They follow each other's trends. That's why you see the skinny jeans and the drawers coming on the back and 20 chains on the neck and all this. Everybody wants to look like a hip hop artist. No, I want to be a doctor. I don't want to be an architect, engineer. I don't want to look like a hip hop artist. Not me. Playing video games. He's talking about what the key is. You got people that stuck in that mold, RDL. You got people that stuck there. You got plenty of them, huh? All right, these guys say you got plenty of fruity dudes. You know, and it's the crazy thing too, guys. I try not to get into that because people get mad at me, man, when I know a gang of these dudes, man, that don't came home after doing 20, 30, numerous years in prison, that slept in a cell and had a man for a boyfriend while in prison. And there are people that a lot of guys in these neighborhoods like got major respect for them. I'm telling you, man, this man got a Chucky doll. I was trying to see what he had. He had a Chucky doll right in the passenger seat, man. Come on, man, knock it off. But I was trying to see what the heck was that. But anyway, they got major respect and pull in their neighborhoods, and everybody want to ignore the fact that while they was in, they had a boyfriend in prison. Now I see him with some of the women I see him with now. I be like, and when I look at the face of them women, all I see is misery. Because they didn't realize what they were signing up for. They didn't. And I'm sure if Fleece Johnson told his woman, now he was bold enough to tell her, I don't want no coochie. I'll take it sometime, but I need me some booty. That's what Fleece Johnson said. Even after being out and being on the streets, being with a woman, Man, don't get me started on that stuff. It's crazy when I see them too, man. I can't even pretend. I just gotta just go the other way. Go the other way. But I tell you what, they ain't gonna get on this internet. They ain't gonna get on this internet. Cause then that opens up the can of worms. That opens up all bets are off. If I see them get on the internet, all bets are off. That's all I gotta do is see them get on the internet. Because I don't mind asking them that question. Yeah. I don't mind asking. Professor Marlene, it's a professor. You hate the skinny jeans era and dancing like girls. Hey, the crazy part about that though, Artie, when you go to, I remember when we used to go to parties, right? We used to have a lot of fun. We used to want to be, so even though we was gangsters and we, we boogie or whatever, how you want to put that and two-step and all that stuff, man. But we had fun. Take the P off of that to be, yeah, the LAPD. They lick ass, booty, and pussy. Well, LAPD, yeah. And dick. Yeah, that's it. I just said it. Lick ass, yeah. Pussy and dick. LAPD, that's what they are. LAPD. Put it that way. They LAPD, they lick ass, dick, and pussy. No, ass, pussy, and dick. I had it backwards. So when we used to go to parties, man, we used to have a lot of fun. You wanted to dance with the girls, and the girls wanted to dance with the guys. And man, we used to be, in our tailors or, our nice, jeans. We looked at nice, none of this skinny jeans stuff, but today you go to a party, it's going to be 10 guys standing right here, 10 girls standing right here, another 5 girls standing over here, another 5 guys standing. They're sectioned off and they're all talking to each other. They're not commingling. The guys is not dancing. Very few people do it, I guess maybe that's why they put boots on the ground, you could do the little line dance and stuff. But other than that, I don't see them. I know. Man, we used to go to VFW. We used to have fun. When I used to go to Consolidated Plaza, I used to go to the Kappa House, the Cobotters, what's that? Carolina West, Mingos, Close Encounters. Close Encounters, yo, you probably don't even remember that. It was even there. It used to be right. Close Encounters used to be right there on Crenshaw, right there by where the Spartan Finals is right now. Used to be a club called Close Encounters, right there. Jumping. Then you go in the jungle, you went to Blueberry Hill, the page 5, I think it's page 4, page 5, right there by the jungles. Popping. Then don't go to Hollywood. But nowadays, you don't see that no more. I don't get it. I don't get it. Yeah, you're right, RTL. You're right. We should be getting it in, dancing, freaking, until they told you to stop. I remember the assemblies, they used to come out and Shabadoos, the Bro Dogs, and Scoobies, and all these different people used to, be out there popping and doing their stuff at the assemblies. You always had a pep rally for a football game, and everybody used to be out there doing their thing. The Total Experience, yeah, I should hit the Total Experience. There was a clothing store right next to the Total Experience, They had like New York fashion, man. I used to love to go in that store, man. They had a different type of fashion in there versus what you would get downtown LA anywhere else. They had, I believe they got their fashion from New York and they imported to that store and sold it, you know. But yeah, they have some real nice pieces up in there. Yeah, I used to hit the total experience. I said the total. I seen the Whispers, Enchantment, Lakeside. Yeah, I seen all those people there. Man, it's just crazy, man, how things change. They're never going back to the way that was, you know. And if anybody think I was too harsh on Tanea, I don't think I was, because I think that she deserves to win the worst Mother of the Year award. That's just what I believe. I'm standing on that, you know. And I don't even like doing reaction or whatever that is, you know. A lot of people, I don't necessarily do it, but I will pull up the subject matter and discuss it in my own way. I won't use somebody else's video and do it. I think, you know, they got some people that's good at that too. Compton Rick Rodman's good at it. He know how to do it, and you know, a few other people, they know how to do it right, correctly. But then there's other people, man, like this Top Media, Too Hood, what is it, Too Gangsta for YouTube, and the Ray Gibb TV dude, and you don't even know who these people are. You don't even know who they are, man. I'm serious. You don't even know who they are, but yet they find out stuff. They find out stuff way before we know it. And I'm like, man, well, how is they getting this information? I can only assume or assess that, you know, they connected somehow to some either they working with the federal government, or I don't know. I'm trying not to say that they informants or anything of that nature, but it just seems strange to me. And they take all the ingredients of West Coast culture and they you know, they take it and chop it up and put it back out there for consumer consumption. And right now, the West Coast is looking terrible. There was one time, man, that I'm sure that New York, Jersey, Texas, Oklahoma, and all these people that became Damus and Keyways, they probably thinking, man, why did we ever even do that? Look at how the people and where it come from. Look how they acted and behaved, you know. And they jump out there. First thing they want to do is jump out there and gun another brother down, gun another sister down on the most minuscule things. On the most minuscule things, not necessarily anything that even get closely related to an overt act or something that should have been retaliated for. You know, it's not. But anyway, guys, don't mind me. You know me. Just watching. I am Professor Melly Mill, and I'm continuing to do what I do, and hopefully somehow that, you know, I had this person right here.
Professor Melly Mill, the Hood Postman. Who I'm here with today?
Am
Bam One. What you think about the Hood Postman?
Oh my God, the Hood Postman? You talking about the one that specializes in everything urban?
That beat him.
I fucks with him. Heavy, tough. Get y'all mental state together. Yeah.
That's it?
That's it.
Lock the door?
Yeah, lock the door.
I like people like that can just come off the top and just say something incredible, you know what I mean? I rock with that. That was just, you know, yeah, definitely, you know. Here go Gertrude Montana.
Ninja Ben. What was it like being with Ninja Ben on that day? Because, you know, I get multiple questions about Ninja Ben. If you had to summarize who Ninja Ben was as an individual, what would that look like?
The Black Panther. They're doing on the Black Panther.
The Black Panther?
The Black Panther.
They had multiple weapons. And
yes. That's Ninja Ben, man. That dude on the Black Panther, man. And it's I'm not trying to, you know what I'm saying? I'm not giving Ninja Ben enough credit, you know what I'm saying? Because it's certain things that people do and bring to the table that other people can't. This dude was different from anybody I knew, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like Turtle. Turtle was different than anybody I knew too, you know what I'm saying? But in two different ways. Mm-hmm. Reaching for the same agenda, but they did it two different ways. So, yeah, Ben, he reminded me of that dude on the Black Panther. You never knew what that dude was going to come up with or what he was going to do.
Man, we going to lock the door then, Gersh. Lock the door?
Lock the door, man.
Rest in peace, Ninja Ben, man. Ninja Ben, Gersh said a mouthful there because he was one of a kind, man. But even as skilled and battle-tested as he was, he couldn't watch everything. He couldn't protect himself from the surprise that wind up in front of his face. You know what I mean? And that's what happened. I don't see enough. We all know Billy Key was, I said this countless times, fastest gun in the West until we couldn't prove it no more. So anybody that's out there popping saying they whooped this many people or did this and had this many, man, that stuff don't mean nothing. Somebody waiting in the cut, waiting to just catch you off guard and blindside you or sucker punch you or shoot you while you're not looking, shoot you in the back or something, some crazy stuff like that, you know, and there you go, you out of there. But anyway, guys, I appreciate you. Let me hit you with this one before I go. I gotta let you hear this, right? So all the guys, and this was regard to people that's out there on Fig or wherever you out there in the live, you out there on the block, you in the alley, the parks, doing whatever you're doing. Listen to this lady.
So they coming up with a new prison that allows inmates to serve years of their sentence in just a matter of minutes. So the criminals is going to have a choice to spend tens of years behind bars, or they can make the choice to get the artificial memory implanted into their brain. So this process is called Cognify. And the intent of it is to treat the criminal like a patient. They're going to try to change the person's brain chemistry. After this process, when they re-enter society, they will be new and reformed, and they won't even be capable of committing any other crime. The chip can make the patient feel empathetic. Depending on the severity of the crime, the chip can also make you feel the emotional and physical pain of the victim and the family members. You can feel what they felt. So the process only takes about 7 minutes. But to the patient, it seemed like it had been years. Last year, the U.S. government spent $8.7 billion taxpayers' dollars on the prison. They say with this new prison, they can save money for health care, education. Also, they feel that it will be so many reformed people that doesn't commit crimes. Y'all leave in the comments and tell me what y'all think about this. Do y'all think this is actually going to work? Or do y'all think that they're creating something that they don't even know that they're creating?
Lock the door.
Coming near you, Cognified. With that being said, I am Professor Melly Mill, your hood postman. Once again, post bail with Professor Melly Mill and get out of that mental jail, because we're here to educate, elevate, and teach you in a way, teach you something that you didn't know. That is the goal over here. I appreciate each and every one of you. Shout out to the Mailroom Nation. Once again, shout out to Marlena. Shout out to the baby and your niece, Marlena. With that being said, I'm gone. Out. Lock the door.
Cali finest, baby. Proof of grind all the time. Music money. Got a dollar sign. Hub City. I'm a street nigga, streets fuck with me. I'ma keep pushing products till the fans get me. It's guap off top, diamond Cartier. That nigga wall won't give a broke bitch the time of day. They see me climbing, they see me shining. That's hard work, proof of grinding. New money got me my hater sprayer. Go big, grind now, nigga, play later. What can I say? I'm addicted to this paper stacking, and I don't talk about it, I just make it happen. Word on the block is that my shit go. Reach for the low.
Lock the door, cause we are gone.